Welcome back to another edition of whatever. This
Guy's in Life.
This Guy's in Life.
That's the name of our channel. Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So today we're going to talk about our adventures with swapping our Australian and British driver's licenses for Japanese driver's licenses so that we can drive cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I am very excited to do. And today's video is about why I now have my license and why Sam does not.
Well, mine is an ongoing process, and yours was easy.
Yes. Mine was, well, I mean, easy, like we still had to have 2 full days of walking around.
Yeah.
To
It's a lot of, collecting forms.
Yeah, collecting paperwork and, got to catch all the paperwork.
Yeah.
And so apart from that, mine was in, out, shaken all about.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is ongoing.
Mine's go and get more paperwork.
Yeah. Oh, you have all this lovely paperwork. Thank you. Now please go get some more.
Yeah.
So yes, this is about our adventure through the land of paperwork. I took a long time to get my license in Japan because I procrastinated an awful lot. But eventually when I did get it, it was a really easy process. As an Australian, because we drive on the same side of the road as Japan, I basically just had to transfer my license. But there were a few pieces of paperwork I needed before I was able to do that transfer. I needed to be living in Japan for at least 3 months. I needed a valid residence card. I needed my passport. I needed a Juminhyo, which is like an official form from my city hall office to say that I am a resident of where I say that I'm living. And then I needed to take all those pieces of paperwork and a translation of my license, which you can't actually get your license translation from your embassy. You have to actually go to the Japan Automotive Federation, or JAF, and then it takes about an hour or so, so they translate your license and then they print it out and give you the translation of your license. So we had to take the Juminhyo, the certificate of residency, residence card, passport, at least 2 passport-sized photos, and the translation of my driver's license to the licensing centre of Tokyo Prefecture, which is in Futu, which is in the west of Tokyo, but it's sort of northwest, and we are southwest. So it took us about an hour and a half to get there. And to get to the licensing centre, we decided to walk, which in the summertime is not a good idea because of chafing. So please get a bus. You can get a bus from the station. And then we went to Futu, went to the licensing office, and submitted all the pieces of paper, and then waited a very long time. Sign the piece of paper, check a box to say that I haven't had a seizure, pass an eye test, and then go and take another photo, and then after about at least 2.5 hours, there it was, I had my Japanese driver's license.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my experience at trying to get my driving license, which is still ongoing. So I think Angela went over all the documents you need, but basically it's just your passport, proof that you live in the country, passport size photos, maybe some other stuff, but I can't remember right now. You need a translation of your license. I pretty much had everything, and then it's like an hour and a half to get there from where we live, which is really annoying because the driving license center is open, I think 8:30 till around 4, but it closes for like an hour, 2-hour break in the middle of the day. So the first time we went, we got there, late afternoon time, and it was a long wait. It was a very long wait of handing in our paperwork and pretty much sitting there for 3 hours with nothing happening. So when I went to get to like the second stage of my paperwork part, there was a problem with my passport. So I had been stamped out of the country, and I haven't been stamped coming back into England. So that was the first issue. So they couldn't process my license on that day. So I had to get proof that I was in England during that time. So I had to get my university degree, college degree transcripts with dates on them. So when I came back with all that stuff, came back at like 8:30 in the morning that time, which was way better, way quieter and way faster. But still another problem. So the certificate I had that was meant to say that I was living in Japan, or proof I was living in Japan, didn't have my nationality on it. So it didn't say British. So I couldn't get it processed again. So this is where I'm up to at the moment. So I've gone and got the certificate with my nationality on it now. But it means going back a third time to try and get my license. So it's a lot of paperwork. It's pretty frustrating from that side, especially since I was declined on very minor issues with my paperwork that I didn't really have any control over. So the third time, hopefully there will be no problems. So I'm still trying to get my license. So we'll probably have to do an updated video when I actually get it, or if I can get it.
So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we now have one license and one no license. And if you have any questions, we're probably not the right people to ask.
So we could maybe give some advice.
We can give some advice, but please go to your embassy. Please, they have advice sheets on, the Australian Embassy does, or please ask the Japanese consulate as well. They have some very good advice sheets for living in Japan as foreigners. So if you want any advice about that, please go to the official channels, and but please remember to have a good 2 days up your sleeve to try and attempt this.
Yeah, you need a full day to go to the driving license center. You can't say, I'm going to just do it in the afternoon. And I think you do need someone who speaks Japanese to come with you. Even if it's only a little bit.
Yeah.
It will be helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, clear a day and make sure you do your research to what paperwork you need to bring.
And also, this is just advice for Australian and English people who drive on the left-hand side of the road. So the rules are different for people who live in countries that drive on the right. From what we've looked at for Eric, like you'll have to sit another test, you'll have to sit a paper test, you may have to sit a practical test depending on the kind of license that you have.
Yeah.
So.
But I think they were doing that at the driving license.
Yeah, they were doing that at the licensing centre in Fuji.
But that will obviously be a lot more complicated than just...
here is all this paperwork, tick, 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 tick. Yeah. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye!
Bye!
Oh my god.